Hello, first of all, could you tell us who you are?
My name is Mike Butcher, I'm the editor of TechCrunch Europe.
So you had a fruitful discussion now, as far as I know. Could you share what happened during it?
Well, I was on two panels this afternoon here at IDCE, and the first one was about whether companies and startups should follow a copycat cloning kind of model when they're doing their startups. My position was that they should try to avoid that and to try and innovate first. There is an acknowledged market for clones and copycats in Europe, but I don't think it's a long-term future for entrepreneurs or for startups. The second panel that I moderated was about how do you get into Silicon Valley, as a European or from Ukraine or from Russia or wherever, how do you get into Silicon Valley? How do you sort of make friends, make contacts, do business deals and things like that? And we had a really good discussion about some of the ways people do that. I mean, things like, how do you network? How do Americans network versus the way Europeans network? That Americans tend to network much more quickly. I think it's important also to think about, if you're going to go over to the Valley and do some networking and try and make contacts and put down roots, then to also maybe go out with friends, go out with other entrepreneurs who also want to do the same thing, maybe from your own country, and then you can use it as a support network and compare notes and just ease into things a little bit more. And then, of course, you can learn how that world operates over there, and then take those learnings and that education back to where you're from, and also and continue to flit across the Atlantic and do deals. Yeah.
And what do you think? The people from Eastern Europe, for instance, from Europe, are they open for the building networks with West, with Silicon Valley and so on?
Oh, absolutely. I think so, and I think it's necessary. I mean, although Europe has some really big markets, I mean, Russia's obviously a huge market, and there are some big markets in Central Europe. Even so, there is still a need for technology companies to go to the biggest markets that are available to them, and those two big markets are mainly Asia or the US, obviously. And it just makes sense, because if you want to be in the technologies world, most technology products are global in nature, so it makes sense to go for the biggest markets you can find.
What do you think about this event in general? Is it useful conference?
Well, I've been really impressed, and I was just chatting to the organisers earlier that 3 years ago this was about 20-50 people. And to look at it today, it's almost Le Web size, which is very large. I think about 700 people now. So it's really excellent to see this going on here in this part of Europe. And I'm actually really excited. I really want to go out and talk to the companies here, make more contacts here. I'd like to come back more often over the next year or so, and to learn much more about the scene. And obviously TechCrunch is here to cover the scene. The other thing is we're really excited. We're working on a project at the moment in London called Tech Hub, which is kind of like a club, a members space just for technology people and technology entrepreneurs, and we'd like to invite you guys back to hang out with us and have drinks and coffee and network with the London scene as well. So if you're in London, come and say hi.
Thank you.
Thank you.